आज बताइए रेनकोट की आपके लिए रेनकोट की का महत्व क्या है? ये फिल्म आपने क्यों की?
कैसा सवाल है। आप फिल्म देखिए, खुद ब खुद पता चल जाएगा कि मैंने ये फिल्म क्यों की। और ये कहकर मैं ये ज़रूर कहूँगी कि मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि मैंने इस फिल्म में काम किया है। ऋतुपर्णा घोष के साथ दूसरी बार इस फिल्म में मैंने काम किया चोकर बाली के बाद। और अगर आपने चोकर बाली देखी है तो आपको पता लग गया होगा कि ये बहुत ही सेंसिटिव डायरेक्टर हैं और इन्होंने एक एक्ट्रेस को अपनी फिल्मों में, अपने स्क्रिप्ट्स में काफ़ी स्कोप देते हैं। और बिनोदिनी बहुत ही डीप कैरेक्टर थी एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, इट वाज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कैरेक्टर, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फिल्म इन माय करियर। एंड उसके बाद जब इन्होंने ये स्क्रिप्ट मुझे नरेट किया तो आई वाज इंस्टेंटली हैप्पी टू बी नीरू। इस फिल्म में मेरे कैरेक्टर का नाम है नीरू और खुशी खुशी मैंने हाँ कर दी। और ये फिल्म आज आप देखेंगे जल्द ही।
रेनकोट और खास करके ऋतुपर्णा घोष की फिल्में they are completely different from जो फिल्में आप करती हैं, जो आप बॉलीवुड एक्ट्रेस हैं, जो स्केल बॉलीवुड फिल्मों के फिल्में बनती हैं जिस स्केल पर, और जो डिसिप्लिन होता है बिल्कुल it's a different school of almost film making.
Which the movie Raincoat itself or
बंगाली फिल्म्स ऋतुपर्णा घोष की फिल्में और खासकर रेनकोट?
Look, you are the one making the judgments. I, as an actor, I'm just happy to explore and find different experiences to enhance my own personal experience as an actor, my discovery of cinema, and my growth, which is an ongoing process. So when I get such opportunities, I think every artist, be it actor, director, cinematographer, or any technician, the music director, would be greedy and happy to grab up such opportunities where you get the chance to discover precisely this. So when I did Chokher Bali, I mean, I'm just now specifically talking about the two experiences with Ritu. These are not my only experiences in my career so far as an actor. I have had the opportunities to start with, say, Mani Ratnam and Iruvar, do Kandu Kondain, work with Sanjay on 2 films, work with Subhash Ghei on Taal, which was very new for a Subhash Ghei film at that point in time when he made it. Be it working with Mansoor on Josh, with Satish Kaushik on Hamare Dil Aapke Paas Hai, even Gurinder Chadha for that matter. I mean, I'm going to talk about all my films at this point in time. But I'm glad that I've had the chance. And working with Ritu, particularly, yes, he is a very sensitive director. He has given me as an actor to really discover 2 distinctly complex, layered characters in both the movies, be it Binodini, be it Neeru, and both extremely challenging at the points in time that I did it. I did Chokher Bali a year ago, and it was in the wake of after Devdas, and so Devdas was very enriching, very rewarding, a very special film and character that I got to essay in the commercial format, in the Bengali backdrop. And Chokher Bali, distinctly different. Binodini, a very different character. And up until then, she was the deepest, most layered character I had essayed. From that point in time till today, I'd say Raincoat was an even more complex, and the character essay Neeru, and even more challenging. And I can safely say one of the most difficult characters for me to essay, and a very difficult film to do. So a challenging film for all of us as a team to work on, be it actors, be the director, be the DOP, because we had the challenge of space, literally to begin with, say the space of literals. It's in one house, so that's the space in which you're doing your entire film, your part. It's in the space of one afternoon in terms of time, and in that time span, you actually go through your entire emotional graph. And your relationship with Ajay's character before and now. So it's definitely been, and of course in the literal space of time, I mean, it's the fastest film of my career. It was done in 10 days, my entire bit in the movie. And so in that sense, definitely challenging.
कहते हैं और सच भी है कि मेकअप और हिंदी फिल्में साथ साथ जाती हैं, फिल्में साथ साथ जाती हैं। ऋतुपर्णा घोष ने कहा है कि आपने बहुत वेरी हैप्पीली, आपने बहुत बिना मच कन्विंसिंग, आपने बिना मेकअप
अलग किस्म का मेकअप उन्होंने कहा, आपने सुना नहीं।
और आपने इस फिल्म के लिए थोड़ा वेट भी गेन किया, ही सेड दैट वाज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर द कैरेक्टर। बताइए एक एक्ट्रेस के लिए ये चीज़ें बहुत it's something that,
but I think the very fact that you mentioned the word actress, हम मैं एक अभिनेत्री हूँ और फिल्मों में अगर मुझे मौका मिले कि मैं अलग अलग किरदार निभाऊं तो खुशी खुशी कर लेती हूँ मैं, भले ही उसमें लोग डिबेट करें और ये वार्तालाप, ये चर्चा भी शायद शुरू हो कि उन्होंने अपनी करियर के इस पॉइंट में ऐसी रोल क्यों की या वैसी फिल्म क्यों की। ये तो काफ़ी समय से डिस्कशंस होती रही हैं और शायद होते रहेंगे, लेकिन मुझे मौके मिलते हैं ऐसे रहने के लिए। जब भी मैं आपसे बात करती हूँ मुझे मौके मिलते हैं, हिंदी फिल्मों में ऐसे मौके भी मिले हैं, सिर्फ नहीं। आई हैवंट डन ओनली वन टाइप, इवन इन द हिंदी फिल्म, इवन द कमर्शियल फॉर्मेट मैंने अलग अलग किरदार निभाए हैं। तो मुझे अच्छा लगता है जब मैं नहीं कहती कि एज एन एक्ट्रेस, एक अभिनेत्री हूँ तो सिर्फ एक ही किस्म की सिनेमा करूँगी मैं, कि सिर्फ आर्ट सिनेमा करूँगी, कि सिर्फ रीजनल सिनेमा, कि सिर्फ कमर्शियल, सिर्फ नाच गाने। मुझे खुशी हो रही है कि मुझे हर किस्म के किरदार निभाने के अवसर मिल रहे हैं। और इस फिल्म में हाँ, मैं जानती हूँ कि मैंने अपने आप को थोड़ा शायद ज़्यादा पुश किया है, क्योंकि काम करते समय अजय भी कहता था कि इतनी भी क्या करने की ज़रूरत है, हमारी हिंदी ऑडियंस, हमारी हिंदी इंडस्ट्री। तो मैं ज़रूर एक सेकंड के लिए मैंने सोचा ऐसे, ऋतु मैं कुछ ज़्यादा तो नहीं कर रही हूँ, क्योंकि मैं तो अपने आप को, मतलब जब मैं एक फिल्म में काम कर रही हूँ, एक किरदार निभाती हूँ तो उसी में खो जाती हूँ। मैं नहीं सोचती कि क्या सही क्या गलत, क्या जमेगा क्या नहीं जमेगा, ये सब मैं नहीं सोचती। तो मैंने कहा ऋतु को कि मैंने ऋतु जी से पूछा कि ठीक है ना, मैं वही कर रही हूँ जो आप चाहते हो। तो उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ, मैं चाहता हूँ कि नीरू, मेरी नीरू ऐसी लगे और तुम यही करना। तो मैंने इसमें क्या किया है कि एक तो खुद थोड़ा वेट गेन किया है और उसके ऊपर कॉस्ट्यूम में भी आई हैव पुट ऑन वेट, आई मीन आई हैव डन इट वाया कॉस्ट्यूम एज वेल। और बाल को मैंने डार्कन कम्प्लीटली ब्लैक किया, डार्क सर्कल्स मैंने ज़्यादा किया। और जितना आई थिंक खूबसूरती तब है एक किरदार बनाने में जब जैसे आपने कहा मेकअप बिल्कुल नहीं लगाया है, काम किया है मेकअप पर, आईब्रोज को डार्क किया, वो सब लगाना तो पड़ता है, काम करना, आधा घंटा सुबह डालना पड़ता है मेकअप और बाल और सब पर काम करना पड़ता है। लेकिन खूबसूरती तब होती है जब आपको ये एक जिंदा इंसान, जीता जागता इंसान लगे। ये नहीं लगे कि ये एक्ट्रेस या एक्टर ने क्या काम किया है, कितना काम किया है, किस एंगल पर, भले कॉस्ट्यूम हो भले मेकअप हो। तो अच्छा लगता है जब लोगों को लगता है कि ये इंसान ही ऐसी है या ये कैरेक्टर ऐसा ही लगता है। आई थिंक तब जब एफर्ट ना दिखाई दे तब एक तरह का एक सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलती है कि ठीक है, हम जो करना चाहते थे वो हमने किया। अजय और मैंने सबसे पहले काम किया हम दिल दे चुके सनम में, और वो बहुत ही स्पेशल फिल्म तो है, आप सब जानते हैं। उसमें हम दोनों को बहुत मज़ा आया साथ काम करने में। वी रियली लव दैट एक्सपीरियंस। और ऑडियंस को भी, जो हमारे कैरेक्टर्स हैं, they quite actually fell in love with the characters. They love the relationship, जो उसमें पति पत्नी का जो रिलेशनशिप है और जिस तरह से हमने उसे एज एक्टर्स निभाया, लोगों को बहुत पसंद आया। और सभी इसके इंतज़ार में थे कि हम दोनों फिर से इस टाइप की फिल्म कब करेंगे। और हम भी दोनों भी खोज रहे थे कि कब ऐसे हम भी इसकी शायद मनी मन, या हम जब डेविड धवन की फिल्म में फिर से मिले तो हमने डिस्कस भी किया कि हमें उस टाइप की फिल्म की खोज है कि जब हम दोनों को एज एक्टर्स मौका फिर मिले कि हम कुछ ज़्यादा एक्सप्लोर करें, डिस्कवर करें। और बड़ा मज़ा आता है काम करने में साथ में। अजय इज़ अ वेरी गुड एक्टर, ये तो सभी जानते हैं। इज़ वन, इफ़ इट्स सो बी अ नेशनल अवार्ड इज़ अ वैलिडेशन, बट विद और विदाउट इट पीपल हैव नोन, पीपल ने ये रिकग्नाइज़ किया है कि वो बहुत ही इंटेंस, बहुत ही डीप एक्टर हैं। और उनके साथ काम करने में पहली बार भी बहुत मज़ा आया। और हम ऐसे स्क्रिप्ट के खोज में थे, तो जब ऐसा मौका आया और ऋतु ने हमें कास्ट किया इस फिल्म में, तो ज़ाहिर है एक्साइटमेंट तो थी कि हमें फिर से एक ऐसा मौका मिल रहा है जहाँ पर एज एक्टर्स हम खूब मेहनत करें, खूब कंट्रीब्यूट करें और साथ मिलकर एक टीम वर्क की तरह इस फिल्म पर काम करें, और वही हुआ और रिजल्ट्स हैं सबको देखने के लिए।
आपने हिंदी में तमिल, तेलुगु, बंगाली फिल्म भी की है?
तेलुगु नहीं, वो डब थी। I have not yet done in Telugu.
How long does it take to wear a Bengali sari for you now?
It doesn't take me too long. Now I'm kind of familiar with, I love the sari and everybody knows that I love wearing saris. So good, through my films I've got the chance to discover several ways of draping the sari, and it's easier now. Yeah. I don't know how perfect, you'd be the judge, but it's definitely familiar terrain for me now.
Yeah, talking about your look in the film, you've always concentrated on your look, you know, whether it was the glam doll or the non-glam doll. So about this look in Raincoat, tell us more about what you did as well, not just the sari, but in terms of your makeup in English.
See, I know there'll be a constant debate on how imperative the look is. I mean, sometimes I think an actor is attacked if they focus on the look, saying, hey, this one just worked on the look, what about the nuances? So it is really a combination of both. Why the look of the character for me has been important because of the fact that the way I am is what makes me me on first impression, is the way you are is what makes you you on first impression. So there is, every individual does have an individual way of dressing, of wearing his or her hair. Okay, let's talk female only. Her hair, the way she accessorizes, the way she puts or does not put on makeup, her clothes and all of that. So first it is the very look, and it has been important to me to work at it if I can on every film, even within the commercial format. It's not just been to the apparent serious filmmakers, but on every film I have more or less worked on it. In fact, even when I came into movies, when it would be that you change several hairstyles through a song or through a film, and you know, everything about the actress would keep changing, the way she dresses, the way she does her makeup, I mean everything, and the apparent look itself. I definitely worked at trying to change that. There may be one or two films where I had to indulge in that, but otherwise I'd restricted myself. Also, instantly when you look at a poster, there's an instant recall to the film and the character. So that is exactly wherein the looks are important to define the character. But then it goes beyond that, and that's where I work with the director very, very closely with, and then obviously it's the conviction and the interest of a director as to how much he or she wants to etch that character in terms of nuances, in terms of mannerisms, in terms of definitely charting out the history apart from the geography of the character. I mean, that's of the personality in the film. So defining the look of a character is important to me. In this particular film, Raincoat, it is the episode of the meeting of two characters on one afternoon. Now, so obviously you're not going to keep going in and out of your room changing clothes. You're going to be, that's her, that's Neeru. That's Neeru you're going to encounter. That's Neeru you're going to discover. So even in the way in how she presents herself is going to define who she is. So it was very, very important for me to arrive at a Neeru that at an Aishwarya you haven't seen before, because I have played a lot of Indianized characters. I love playing different very Indian women. So how different can I look? So we had to definitely arrive at a Neeru who would make her specifically her. I have done dark lenses before, so I did dark lenses again, but then I had to work on the rest of making who she was in the graph of the story and the characters. So we worked on that together, and that's how she arrived. Blackened her hair completely, blackened my hair completely, I'm talking her, blackened my hair completely, wore dark lenses, the dark circles, not just to be different, because when you see the movie you'll realize that she's a woman who's seen a lot of life, and she's a bit tired. She's definitely a bit emotionally worn out too. And so that's who she is. Even in my mannerisms, I mean, if I if Neeru grimaces, if she frowns, she just frowns all the way. The kind of woman who would not be conscious of looking in the mirror, who would not be conscious of her expressions as is, this is how a smile is pretty and this is how a frown might not look good. She just frowns because that's the way she feels. She'll smile because that's the way she feels, and she'll cry. So it's a very, very real woman in that sense. In terms of, I had put on naturally some weight too, which I had done during Gurinder's film. So that was great. I didn't have to work at shedding it, which suits me just fine since I don't work out. And I also physically worked at filling out even more than how much I had naturally. So who you see is also worked on filling out costume wise. I filled out more than natural weight gain. So anyway, so that was how we arrived at Neeru, and from everything, from the earring to the nose ring to everything was between Ritu and me. And it's wonderful working on a character like that, because after that you just become her, you live her every day, and every little detail when you watch it you will pick up, and as a woman you definitely will. Nitty gritty, I mean detailing down to every bit of garment was definitely very local and very much the woman of her level. Now talking about the looks, I'll go down to even say the accent. In the media, you all had discussed, and I guess you all got to know about me wanting to, because she's a Bihari woman. I did want to get a woman, a Bihari woman to come during dubbing, just so that I get mine. I said, since we have pushed ourselves and we are working like really theatre on this film, this was like theatre on celluloid. So I said, chalo, let me push myself further. I said, Ritu, get a woman, no, a Bihari woman, so I'll get the accent and the nuance right. Ritu did a very fine detail, which was very new in my working experience, and that is at the time of dubbing he said, no, you will have a accent of somebody who's lived in Calcutta, so you actually pick on the Bengali lilt, which is actually true even for me. Even when I go to Calcutta in a week, I'm speaking in that tune. I'm speaking hai. I don't even say ha. I mean, I say hai, and you start speaking in that tune. There's a very lyrical tune to the Bengali way of speaking. Even when they speak Hindi, it's got a tune. And if you're there a week, you pick it up. And she's been there for a couple of years. So automatically, she has picked up that tune now. So the first scene that I came to dub, Ritu dubbed it first and said, now follow this pattern of delivering dialogue, even in your emotion. So even dubbing was an exercise. I mean, I was very conscious of the fact that I followed that. So the first one, I virtually emulated my first dialogue in the film, the way he said it, picked up that kind of tune, and I continued that. I mean, we had done it when acting also, but then you fine tune. We used dubbing as the opportunity to work further. And so every aspect of the making of this film was definitely like a life of a student of cinema. You kind of learn and grow, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
One last question. ये साल आपके लिए कैसा रहा? बहुत सारी फिल्में अलग तरह की फिल्में आपने की हैं, right from cross cultural film, Pride and Prejudice to Raincoat, lots of films with different of different genres. कितना eventful रहा है ये साल आपके लिए? 2004, how eventful was it for you?
The word is eventful. The word is, it has been varied experiences. And I think varied experiences is definitely a positive trend of growth, and so I look at that objectively, and I'm saying checkered. I'm not saying, obviously it's checkered at the box office, where all films have not fared mind-bogglingly or whatever be the mind-blowingly at the box office, but nevertheless every experience of mine as an actor, be it Khaki, be it Pride and Prejudice, be it Kyun Ho Gaya Na, be it now Raincoat, all these movies have been different experiences for me, and I have learnt from them, I have given to them in all sincerity, and moving on to 2005 from there, just like every year. And definitely every experience has got all of you debating, has evoked a lot of discussions, which I think is positive. If there's debate, there's discussion, it's thought-provoking, then that's positive. And I regard life that way, and I feel good about it.
Although not all the films have, hit the...
Like I just said, yeah?
Yeah, like you just said, but brand Aishwarya keeps growing stronger. What could be the secret of that?
I hope you're not questioning it. I'll just say I thank God. I thank God for His blessing. Someone up there smiling. And I definitely thank my well-wishers and my fans for being supportive and giving audience to the films that or the choices that I've been making, be it in literally, let's talk about the brands that I endorse, be it the events that I choose to go to, the causes that I support, or be it the films that I am being a part of and participating in. I thank my audience for being supportive, for coming forth and discovering life the way I am. I'm actually just discovering from experience to experience. And I thank my audience for constantly being there.